Hey hello, welcome back to Cottage Cake. In today's video, we're going to crochet this Sailor Moon inspired uniform for 10 cm dolls. At first, I only wanted to make Sailor Moon's uniform, but with all the yarn I already have, I just couldn't resist making more. For the materials, I used number for yarn and a 3.5mm hook, but for the foundation chain, I used a 4.5mm hook to make crocheting row 1 easier later. Start with a slip knot, then chain 22. This foundation chain will be the waist or top part of the skirt. Now we're going to make a round by connecting to the first chain. Slip stitch into chain 1. Row 1, chain 3. This row is going to be the bottom part of the skirt, with the pleats made by alternating 3 double crochet increase with a lone double crochet. Make a 3 double crochet increase on the next stitch. On the next loop, make just 1 double crochet stitch. Now we're going to repeat this 9 more times. Alternate 3 DC increase with 1 DC stitch. After your last double crochet, there should be 1 last back loop on your foundation chain. Make a 3 double crochet increase into this one. Finally, to close the row, slip stitch back into chain 3. This completes the bottom part of the skirt. The 3 double crochet increases should naturally curl and create these pleats or waves. Now to go back to the waist of the skirt, pull this loop through the next stitch like so. Then chain 3. Turn to the front side of your work, and on any stitch of the foundation chain, pull that loop through from the back. row 2, chain 1. Then make 21 single crochet stitches. Before we change colors, make sure you have 21 single crochet stitches. This now completes the skirt. Instead of closing row 2 with a slip stitch back into chain 1, we're going to change colors here. But don't cut the teal yarn just yet. We will be using this for the collar later. Now we're going to crochet the attached blouse. With some white yarn, make a slip knot. And pull the loop through chain 1 and the last stitch of skirt row 2. Blouse row 1. To create this pinstripe line on the hem, first do a row of 22. Slip stitches into the back loops only. But rather than pulling loops from the front, we're going to pull loops from behind the loop instead. First move your yarn to the front. Then pull slip stitches from behind the back loop. Repeat this 21 times to make 22 total back slip stitches. Make sure to count 22 slip stitches total. Then move your yarn to the back again and make one regular slip stitch into the first stitch. This completes the pinstripe hem or row 1. Blouse row 2, chain 2. Then make 4 half double crochets. Now to make space for the sleeves, chain 7. Count 2 stitches to skip and single crochet into the third stitch. Single crochet 8 more times. There should be a total of 9 single crochet stitches for the front of the blouse. Chain 7 again for the other sleeve. Count 2 stitches to skip and half double crochet into the 3rd stitch. Half double crochet 3 more times. And slip stitch back into chain 2 to complete row 2. With row 2, we've made holes for the sleeves, the front of the blouse, and the back. Blouse row 3, chain 1, then single crochet 3 times. Now let's move on to the first sleeve. This arch of 7 chain stitches is where we'll crochet the cap sleeves on. Skip this stitch and the first chain, then slip stitch into the second chain. There should be 5 more chain stitches left. Now move the yarn below by pulling from under the arch to make a chain 1. We're going to be making 3 single crochets into the bottom loops of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th chain. Single crochet 3 times. Chain 1. Move the yarn back to the top of the work with a slip stitch into the 6th chain of the arch. This finishes the first cap sleeve. Now to the front of the blouse, we're going to make a V-neck shape with just 7 stitches. Skip the 7th chain and the first single crochet stitch below and make a half double crochet into the 2nd stitch. Make a single crochet into the next stitch. Then slip stitch only on the back loop of the next stitch. To accentuate the V-neck, slip stitch into both the front and back loop of the next stitch. Next, slip stitch only on the back loop. Then make a single crochet. And finally, a half double crochet. Now for the second sleeve, we're going to repeat the pattern from the first sleeve. Skip the stitch below and the first chain of the arch and slip stitch into the second chain. Chain 1 below the arch. Then turn the arch and on the bottom loops of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th chain, make single crochet stitches. Chain 1 and return to the top of the arch with a slip stitch into the 6th chain. Skip the last chain stitch and the half double crochet stitch below and single crochet into the next stitch. Single crochet 2 more times and slip stitch back into chain 1. Now pull this loop through the next stitch like so. Pull the yarn through and cut here to finish the row. Tip: for a simple two-tone dress, you can stop right here. Now let's move on to making the collar. Pull the blue yarn from below. Like with the hem of the blouse, we're going to make this pinstripe effect for the collar as well. Slip the yarn through the back loop of the last slip stitch. From here, all the slip stitches will be made behind the back loops only. Move the yarn to the front of your work. Then make 4 back slip stitches. Now find the 3 top stitches where we made single crochets for the cap sleeve below. Make 3 back slip stitches into each. And now for the front of the blouse. Make back slip stitches into these 11 specific stitches. First make 5 back slip stitches into the back loops. Then make a back slip stitch into the bottom loop of this middle stitch. Now make another 5 back slip stitches into the back loops only. After the 11 slip stitches on the front, make another 3 back slip stitches on the top loops of the sleeve. Finally, make 5 more back slip stitches for the back side of the blouse. Your last back slip stitch should be on the same loop where you started this row. Another bonus, chain 1 and cut right here for a cute preppy dress. Now for the second and last row of the collar. Chain 2. Then make 3 half double crochets. Now make a 2 single crochet decrease. Make another 2 single crochet decrease. Next, half double crochet 2 times. Single crochet on the next stitch. And now, to accentuate the V-neck, slip stitch only on the back loop of the next stitch. Slip stitch into both loops of the following stitch. Then slip stitch into the row directly below that. Again, slip stitch only into the back loop of the next stitch. Single crochet into the following stitch. Then half double crochet 2 times. Make a 2 single crochet decrease. Again, make a 2 single crochet decrease. Next, make 3 half double crochet stitches. Finally, slip stitch into chain 2 to close the row. Pull the last loop through the next stitch like so. Then pull yarn through the loop and cut. And now we've finished our sailor dress. You can stop right here for a plain uniform, maybe even add a tie. Or if you want to make it like a Sailor Moon costume, add this cute ribbon. To make a simple crochet ribbon, make a slip knot and chain 22. To make slightly looser chain stitches, I used a 4mm hook. After 22 chain stitches, switch out to a smaller hook. Here, I used it to 0.5mm one. Now, we're going to turn and make 4 slip stitches. Now we're going to take the rest of the chain and fold it into a ribbon. Make sure there's 4 chain stitches on the other end. Wind yarn around the center twice. Pull to tighten. Then chain 2. Now go around the bow and slip stitch into the last 4 chain stitches. Slip stitch 3 times. For the last stitch, make 1 single crochet. Before cutting, leave about 3 inches of yarn. And now we've finished this cute crochet ribbon. Now let's weave in the extra yarn up to the middle of the ribbon. Weave in this other loose yarn to hide it away. Now with the extra yarn, we can weave the ribbon into the front of the dress. And that completes our Sailor Moon inspired dress for 10cm dolls. Of course, I couldn't resist making this dress in all the Sailor Scout colors, and so I did. Good thing I have all these dolls to model all of them. If you want to crochet 10cm dolls of your own, check out my doll base patterns here, as well as many more doll clothes and accessory tutorials on my channel. Thanks again for watching. Like this video if you learned something new, or maybe subscribe if you want to see more. See you on the next one.